All right, let's just dive right into this. Welcome to this explainer. Now, if you share your home with a cat, you probably already know that amazing feeling of them curling up right next to you at night. I mean, it's totally adorable, right? But what if I told you that behind all that physical closeness, there are actually these deeply emotional, super instinctual messages your cat is sending you every single night? Seriously, today we're going to decode the secret language of your cat's sleep. Because honestly, if you misunderstand it, and let's be real, most owners kind of do, you could be missing some incredibly profound messages they've literally been trying to send you for years. So, the very first question we got to tackle is this. Why does your cat really sleep with you? It's this daily or rather nightly experience for millions of cat owners, but it's actually a pretty compelling mystery just waiting to be solved. Like, what is actually driving them to abandon the entire rest of your house just to be right there next to you? Well, most people think it's a super simple equation. You know the myth. Cats get cold, you're warm, boom, end of story. But let's just go ahead and dismantle that right now. Cats are incredibly resourceful when it comes to finding heat. Think about it. They've got sunny spots, they've got laptops, radiators, a basket of laundry fresh from the dryer. If warmth was literally all they wanted, they have plenty of options. So the reality, sleep is when a cat is at their absolute most defenseless. Every wild instinct they have is screaming at them to go find a hidden, secure spot away from predators. Yet instead of hiding, they choose you. It is a profound, undeniable display of trust. 15. Just sit with that number for a second. Your cat walks past every quiet, hidden corner in your home and climbs into bed with a human that is 15 times their size. They are actively choosing to let their guard down completely next to a literal giant. In fact, studies in animal cognition actually show that cats form attachment styles with their owners that are super similar to how human infants bond with their caregivers. By sleeping beside you, they're essentially telling you without words, hey, you make me feel safe enough to let go completely. Which brings us to the ancient instincts happening right in your bed. All that scent chemistry and their urge to act as your bodyguard. To really grasp what's going on here, we have to zoom out and look at the evolutionary perspective. It's fascinating how wild colony behaviors have just seamlessly adopted to your modern human bedroom. Before your cat even settles into sleep, you've probably noticed them pressing their head or body against you. Notice those specific areas they use, the cheeks, the forehead, maybe the base of their tail. Guys, this isn't just random cuddling, this is pure chemistry. Out in the wild, cats in the same colony share a communal scent to recognize their family. So by rubbing those specific areas on you, they're physically weaving your smells together. Night after night, they're performing this ancient ritual, creating a shared colony scent that signals to the world and to themselves, this one is safe. And that leads us to this absolutely incredible protective instinct. Even the most pampered, strictly indoor house cat still carries the deep-seated instincts of a predator who understands threats. In wild cat colonies, members actually take turns watching over each other while they rest, just for basic survival. So if your cat positions themselves facing the bedroom door, they are strategically watching the entry point. If they sleep near your head, they're protecting your most vulnerable area. Now, will your tiny cat actually fight off a home intruder? Yeah, probably not. But deep down in their wiring, they've assigned themselves a role, and they're showing up for bodyguard duty every single night. All right, let's move on to decoding cat sleep positions, our little body language dictionary. Because every single position is a hidden message. First up, the tight curl. This shields their belly and their vital organs. Basically, it means they trust you enough to be near, but they're still keeping a tiny layer of caution. Now, the full sprawl. Legs completely stretched out, belly exposed to the world. This is the ultimate sign of security. They have let go of every single survival instinct. Now, what about the back turned? Okay, some owners actually take this personally, but please don't. In the cat world, turning their back to you means they trust you so much they don't even feel the need to watch you. It's actually a massive compliment. And finally, full contact. When they wedge themselves right up against you with zero distance, that is absolute devotion. Next up, how they are in sync with your feelings. Actually rewriting their biology. To really understand the deepest level of your feline connection, we've got to talk about biology for a second. Specifically, this word, crepuscular. This basically means an animal whose body is naturally wired to be most active at dawn and dusk, which, not surprisingly, is exactly when their wild ancestors hunted. So by nature, your cat's sleep schedule shouldn't line up with yours at all. But bonded cats do something absolutely remarkable. They override thousands of years of evolution. Researchers have found that domestic cats living closely with humans gradually shift their own sleep and wake cycles just to mirror their owners. They literally sleep more deeply at night simply because that is when you are available. They rewrite their own biology just to exist in your world. How crazy is that? And by syncing their schedule perfectly to yours, they basically get a front row seat to your emotions. Cats are unbelievably tuned in to their bonded humans. Studies show they can detect even the most subtle changes in your behavior. When you're stressed out, your body releases cortisol, your movements in bed shift, your breathing changes. Your cat picks up on all of this before you even say a word. Sleeping beside you night after night allows them to learn your baseline, your normal heart rate, your normal resting state. So when something shifts because you're sick or anxious or grieving, they notice it immediately. That is exactly why they often just refuse to leave your side on a rough day. But we also need to talk about when the sleeping stops and how to decipher those warning signs. I want to shift to a slightly more serious, cautionary tone here for a second, because it's absolutely crucial to understand what it means when this nightly ritual abruptly ends. If your cat has slept beside you for months or even years and then suddenly stops, do not ignore it. They're breaking a highly significant pattern to try and communicate with you. There are 3 distinct triggers you need to look for. First, physical. Illness or pain can make a cat instinctively seek out solitude to hide. It's a basic survival mechanism. So if they suddenly want to sleep alone, a vet visit is definitely worth considering. Second, environmental. Look for shifts in their territory. A new pet, a new person, or even just a small change in routine can feel massive to a cat. And third, emotional. Cats have phenomenal memories. If they were startled in the bedroom or if a conflict happened in that space, they might pull away just to protect themselves. The key takeaway here is to investigate and gently help them find their way back to feeling safe. As we wrap up our explainer today, I really want to highlight this quote from our source material, that nightly ritual was never small to them and it shouldn't be small to you either. I think this just brilliantly summarizes the profound weight embedded in this cross-species bond. Your cat choosing to close their eyes and let their guard completely down beside you isn't just some quirky little habit. It's an ancient, calculated, and deeply emotional act of devotion. So I want to leave you with this final lingering thought. What is your cat's trying to tell you tonight? When you go to bed later, just take a second. Look at where they sit, look at their sleep position, look at how they sync their breathing right up to yours. I really hope this explainer helps you observe your pet's behavior with entirely new eyes tonight. Thank you so much for joining me and keep learning.